Hello everyone, thank you for watching so that you can learn about our writing process. In science, we will focus on writing for scientific purposes, and in history, we will write evidence-based pieces, but the process for both look very similar. The first step for both science and social studies is to brainstorm. This is where you will select a topic and begin listing everything you think you already know about the topic, as well as what you want to know. I said what you think you know because sometimes you might have false information. Part of the writing process is making sure that all the information you use is correct. That is why using reliable sources is so important. You can use a lot of different graphic organizers to brainstorm or even a blank paper. Whatever works for you. The important part is to keep all of your notes just in case you want to go back later. After you brainstorm, you begin Research 1, where you build your background knowledge. This is where you prove that what you already know is correct and start looking up information about what you would like to learn. You want to make sure that you take notes and keep track of the sources. I would start a source list right away. Another strategy is to have a folder, either real or on the computer, with all of your documents. Remember to look at a variety of reliable sources. Videos, articles, websites, books, interviews, and case studies are just a few of the many types of sources that can be helpful. If you limit yourself to just one, you will limit the depth and details of your paper. After you build up some background knowledge of the topic, you can write your thesis or hypothesis, depending on what kind of paper you are writing. Even if you're writing an informational paper, coming up with a thesis will help your paper be more organized and keep you more focused. We will go over examples of more informational-driven thesis possibilities in class. Remember, whether a thesis or a hypothesis, you will need to prove it with evidence. Make sure you feel that you are able to find that evidence based on what you found in your building background research. Share your thesis or hypothesis with your teacher and classmates. Revise until you feel you have a clear and strong statement. Next, you need to do a second round of research. You are looking for specific evidence that supports your thesis or hypothesis. This will mean looking back at your original research and doing even more research. Again, make sure to look at a variety of sources. Keep track of all of them. If you're doing an experiment, now is time to do the experiment. Take careful notes, observations, and data. The next 3 steps you will have to do several times. Write your draft. Use all your notes. Make sure to include your evidence and refute all other arguments against your thesis or hypothesis. Think about what someone who doesn't agree with you would say and explain why they're wrong and you are right. Make sure in this part that you are also giving your reasoning to explain how your evidence connects to your thesis. Make sure that you include your APA formatting in your draft so that you can get feedback on whether or not you cited correctly. Remember, you need to cite your sources when you use information from another source, whether you paraphrase or use a direct quote. You should also have a source list at the end of the paper. Paraphrase is when you give a summary of what someone else said in your own words. The I'll Produce site will give you examples of how to cite that information. Direct quotes is when you use someone else's information word for word. I'll Purdue also has examples for this. Once you feel you have a good draft done, conference. Have several people give you some feedback using the conferencing poster and checklist. Make sure that their thoughts are documented so that you can review them later when you are revising your paper. Once you have your feedback, use it. Revise your paper. Read through it carefully and with an open mind. Make sure to make all corrections, deletions, and additions necessary. You might even have to do more research. After you revise, repeat. Give your new draft to more people for feedback. Revise based on their feedback and repeat. Keep doing this until you do not receive any actionable tasks as feedback. You might feel like you are redoing it over and over again, but taking these steps will make sure that you don't miss any important information and that you have cited all of your sources correctly. After you've done all of that and draft, conference, and repeat several times, you are ready to publish. Go ahead and celebrate. Thanks for listening, and make sure to let me know if you have any questions. You might need to take some time on the OWL Purdue site to read through the examples carefully so that you can make sure to do it correctly on your paper.